contract to have a husband's child.
You're exploiting her.
Doctor.
Who's right, who's wrong? On A Country Practice, Monday.
The 1991 AFL Premiership season. Proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, BP, Westpac, CUB, McEwen's and Vulcan Hot Water.
AFL Today saw 2 games played and the crowds packed into VFL Park, where reigning premiers Collingwood tried to notch up their 4th win of the season. Their opponents, however, Melbourne, have shown steady improvement since their drubbing in round 1, and with 28 goals last week against North, have a top-class forward line. The Roos, meantime, were battling it out at the MCG, trying to erase the memories of 3 heavy defeats as they tackled the Sydney Swans, also looking for their 2nd win of the season. The AFL Today, exclusively on 7 Sport.
And a very good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special ANZAC Day edition of the AFL Today. 2 games were played this afternoon from round 6. Collingwood and Melbourne at the Park, and North against Sydney at the MCG. The round, of course, to be completed with 3 games on Saturday and 2 from interstate on Sunday. Out at VFL Park, it was the 198th clash between Melbourne and Collingwood. And while the Magpies have won 127 of those, the Demons' recent record is much better, winning 7 of the last 9. The Magpies winning their only meeting last year at the Park by over 8 goals. For today's hit-out, the Woods brought in Tarpey and Alan Richardson. Morwood was a late withdrawal from the side, and out of the lineup were Monkhurst, Anderson and the injured Kelly. The Demons brought in Gary Lyon, Spencer and Ford for Bryson Lovell. Keogh, who was originally omitted, replaced Jackson in the selected 20. With me in the commentary box, Peter McKenna and Bernie Quinlan. We pick up play at the start of the second quarter.
Second quarter from VFL Park. The Magpies leading by 11 points after they had most of the play in the first term. Francis out to Tony Shaw. The Magpies skipper's kick marked by Campbell. The umpire calls play on. Let's see if the Magpies can get something going early in this term. Some more constructive forward play that brings better efforts. Starcevic now. Outside 50. Good long kick. That'll just about make the distance. In the back, Richardson couldn't take the grab. He took a screamer in the first quarter over Road, and that resulted in one of Collingwood's goals. So further behind to their tally, 2 goals 8, and Melbourne 1 goal 2. Tony Campbell to kick in again. Mullane underneath it with Stretch, with Steins rather. This is Dyson. Dyson from right half back. Former Oakley player, and the mark taken by Tarpey. The things he did in the first quarter, more than useful. Kick by Krasiska down towards half forward. Stephen Clark, who was in the hands of the trainers just before quarter time, seems to have recovered okay, and he gets his kick back to Viney.
Viney to the half forward line. Good mark, Harrison.
No movement by the Melbourne half forwards. Harrison easily able to come over the top.
I think it'd be a good move to interchange Lyon with Spalding at the moment. It'd be a good time to do it as we see Rod Owen to the half-forward line. Banks sets himself. Oh, danger here over the back. Cuthbertson, an open goal. He hurries his kick. Oh, he could have run down into an open goal. Kicked it on the left foot. And he wouldn't have realised it, but he was under no pressure whatsoever.
No, that's right, Pete. It's a funny thing what pressure does to a player, because he could have even had a bounce then and run right into the goal, because the Collingwood players had no chance of getting him.
Well, he should have kicked on the right foot for a start, young Darren Cuthbertson. There's Banks to the half-back line. Spalding should mark and does. Now they need him to lift.
Yes, Pete. Shocking kick off from Banks there from full back. Just wobbled it. A wobbly old punt off the boot.
Well, Spalding, not known for his long kicking, can surprise you at times from 55 metres. That's a beautiful looking drop punt. That might get there. I think it did. It's a goal. Well, Earl Spalding surprises everyone, kicks a great goal, and Melbourne fight back. 2-8 Collingwood, Melbourne 2-3.
Well, as I said, Pete, that mistake from Dennis Banks, the kick out from full back, just wobbled off the boot. Was lucky to get 40 metres because Earl Spalding was kicking out from almost the 50-metre line, and if you're kicking out 40 metres from full back, you're not doing a job.
Spalding's first goal. Bennett was the other goal kicker for Melbourne. Back into the centre. First blood of the Demons in the second term. Steins doing battle with Manson. And neither ruckman got a handle on it. Finally, the Collingwood ruckman up towards the edge of the square. He got a chance to go forward again. There's a free kick after Spalding takes hold of the ball. And it's going to be taken by Gavin Krasiska at centre half back. Krasiska's kick straight down the ground. Steins at the back. Was there more interference there to Starcevic? Glenn Lovett has come out with the ball. He gives it over to Brett Lovett. Kick number 8 for him. Spalding again, marking in front of Tarpey.
That's better movement there from Earl Spalding.
Too far out to score this time. After that nice goal, Cuthbertson. Oh, mark, free kick, whatever.
There's no doubt there would have been a free kick paid because Darren Mullane just dragged him away. But Darren Cuthbertson able to take a very good chest mark.
Is Mullane, do you think Mullane's in the back pocket, Bernie?
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it, Pete? There would be no other reason why Mullane would be playing in the back line. I don't think he would have followed the play down there. He wouldn't have been down there that quickly.
So Darren Cuthbertson has a chance to make amends for missing that goal a couple of minutes back. What's he done with it? It's a goal. His first, and the Demons hit the front. 3-3 to 2-8.
He's the danger player down there on that forward line. 7 great goals last week. Earl Spalding starting to take control across the half-forward line. A good leading mark, and Cuthbertson in front. Mullane tried to drag him away from it. Just not able to. Now, I think Mullane's actually still on the wing. Going back to pick up Kevin Dyson.
Melbourne leading 21-20 after an excellent mark that. Tapped down brilliantly to Viney. That was a great tap by Steins to full forward. Cuthbertson at the back. He's got it. An open goal coming up. Darren Cuthbertson kicks. It's another one to the youngster. Beautiful football by the little forward pocket player. 4-3-27 Melbourne. Collingwood 2-8-20.
When I buy a van, it has to deliver. And I mean deliver. This Mitsubishi Express does it better than ever. It's got tons of power, loads of space, and all the creature comforts. But at the end of the day, I'm running a business, and I have to make money. That's why I buy Express.
If saving money is your biggest goal, a Westpac bonus saver account pays not just 1, but 2 percentage points of extra interest per annum. You can bank on Westpac to really kick your savings along.
You'd be surprised how much plaque builds up around your teeth even in one day. Regular brushing removes a good deal of it, but what about the small spaces between your teeth a brush can't reach? What you need is a special pre-brush rinse. And that's exactly what new Colgate ActiBrush is. A dental rinse that attacks the plaque between your teeth before you brush, to make brushing much more effective. New Colgate ActiBrush gets between for a better clean.
Panadol is Australia's most trusted pain reliever. In fact, Panadol is now sold in over 30 countries around the world. And despite all the latest developments in the treatment of headache, pain and fever, there still isn't a pain reliever more gentle to the stomach than Panadol with paracetamol. Naturally use Panadol tablets only as directed, and if pain persists, please see a doctor. Panadol, Australia's trusted pain reliever.
You can't run a business without the right tools, and the most important tool a tradesman can have is a mobile phone.
I bet the truck's broken down.
Telecom MobileNet, Australia's own.
You can hear perfect balance. Now you can see it with Dimension 2-in-1, a great dimension in hair care. the right amount of shampoo to clean and conditioner to moisturize. A perfect balance for soft, shiny and manageable hair, whatever your hair type. Dimension 2-in-1. Perfect balance for perfect hair.
5 kicks to Cuthbertson and 2 marks, 4-3 to 2-8 as Melbourne takes command. Collingwood, of course, missing a lot of opportunities in the first quarter when they kicked 2 goals 7. Gavin Brown in front of Brett Lovett, and Brown within kicking distance.
A very classy player, Gavin Brown. He missed his first 3 weeks through suspension, had a groin operation over summer. The only player to keep his eyes on the ball.
54,000 roundabout here this afternoon for this clash. She's about 5,000 up on the match these two sides played here last year, which Collingwood won by over 8 goals. Brown's kick is a goal. Collingwood player played his cards pretty close to his chest there, gave us no indication. 4-3 to 3-8.
Pretty quiet behind the goals there too, Pete. The crowd weren't sure which way it was going, so it must have been very close. And Gavin Brown, a very important player in this Collingwood side, playing on the forward line or across the centre. A very versatile player. Just about the perfect athlete.
Melbourne by 1 behind. Manson, well done. Down to Francis. Francis to the half-forward line. Punched down by Campbell. Scott Russell. Well, ran over it. Oh, Stephen Stretch, a very ordinary effort to the half-forward line. Grabbed by Lyon. Lyon right out wide. His head out in the full it is.
Well, there's just too much fumbling from some of these Melbourne players under pressure. Just allowing Collingwood in there again.
Gavin Brown has kicked 1 as he brings it to the half-forward line. Campbell in front. Richardson can't grab it on the second bite. Campbell, a hand pass backwards. This is Francis. Tapping it further afield. Stretch had to make up for a fumble a moment ago to the half-back line. Lovett working hard. So is young Paul Williams. Charging in after it. Ridden into the ground by Ford. Dacos. And the umpire paying the advantage. Dacos. Christian. Tony Shaw. Alan Richardson trying to break the tackle, does so. Gets round onto the right foot and from 40 metres. Alan Richardson, will it get there? Touched. Or is it a free kick? It could be a free kick in front of goal. Going the way of Richardson.
Oh. Well, it's a brave umpire to pay that in front of goal there.
Well, there was a bit of pushing and shoving. They were both involved. Let's have a look at it.
Let's have a look again. And
too high.
Well, very lucky to get that free kick. Very lucky, because Richardson was doing the shepherding and pushing himself back into road.
A goal.
Well, Mark Richardson's second goal. And from a similar distance, he got his first one at the other end of the ground. 4-8. They're tallied to 4-3.
Well, let's have a look at that free kick again.
Too high there, Bernie, wasn't it?
Well, very slight touch there, Pete, and I'd put that down as a charity goal.
Young Mark Richardson was backing back into road, making it awkward for Peter Road. And
tucking back, Peter, was he?
Yeah, he was, Peter, as a matter of fact. Touch and go, actually, wasn't it?
Very lucky. Very lucky to get that. Manson doing well in the centre bounce.
19 minutes left in the second term. 32 plays 27. 2 goals to Richardson for Collingwood. 2 to Cuthbertson for the Demons. Shaw, short hand pass. Christian offloaded as he kicked. No free kick downfield. Brett Lovett, arguably Melbourne's best player at the moment. Not much getting past him. All 2 Melbourne players collide. Top line, he's come down with the mark. That took courage. Barney from midfield. Kicks long to half forward. Bennett, great grab. Oh, he's play on.
I think it must have been touched off the boot.
Yes, it must have been, because Kerrison, I noticed, got very close to the boot of Todd Viney when he kicked it. So that's the only reason it could have been called play on.
Well, bad luck for Melbourne, because Darren Bennett, the way he kicks, was well within scoring distance. Glenn Lovett and Turner, Keogh and Gaper. Keogh breaks clear, breaks the tackle beautifully. That took strength, and that's going pretty close, but I fancy just... No, it's a goal! Oh, it looked as though it had drifted away. The crowd was pretty quiet, but the goal umpire stood motionless and then put up the 2 fingers, So a quick fight back again by Melbourne. 5-3 to 4-8. Great game.
Yes, and you'd almost think that you're in South Australia after that goal was kicked, because very little reaction to that from the crowd. Must have been very close again, but Rod Keogh doing very well to break that tackle from Michael Gaffer. Rodney Grinter on the ground, and who's replaced? Stephen Stretch.
Melbourne by a point. What a great game we're witnessing. 18 minutes of play left in this second quarter. Grinter on the ground to replace Stretch, and they love him, the Melbourne supporters. Good use of the body by Spalding, but Kerrison goes back. Oh, he's kicked it out wide. Who will it bounce for? It'll bounce for Keogh. Can he break the tackle? He can. He looks for the short one. Dummies onto the right foot. Great play. Option of two players, and he's found Glenn Lovett.
Yes, he didn't panic there, did he, Rod Keogh? Kicking on his unnatural foot, his right foot.
Glenn Lovett from 50 metres runs very close to Dacos. A high floating drop punt. Will it sneak in for a goal? Yes, it will.
Our famous not-so-squeezy canter also comes on all fours.
Pete. Dave? Haven't seen you since you left town. With my girlfriend.
We got married.
I'm happy for you.
She left me for a truckie.
Now I'm even happier.
Having a beer?
Yeah.
Melbourne?
Sure. Something else I remember.
Yeah?
It's your shout.
Fitwear have noticed that most people actually have 2 feet. So we asked ourselves, why does one sock always seem to disappear in the wash? It's enough to make you hopping mad. The solution is Lockups, a range of top-quality socks for all the family with the unique sock lock device that keeps both socks together. So now everybody can stand on their own 2 socks. New Lockups from Fitwear, the socks that won't escape in the wash.
What's your style when it comes to walking? There's a funny walk, or the military walk. Some try an Olympic walk. Others do the power walk. But the most important walk of all is the everyday walk. The Heart Foundation says just walking half an hour every day is a step in the right direction for your heart.
Martin Vinicum, gold medal winner for Australia. His energy source, Lucozade.
Do you think you're smarter than Jacko?
Yeah. Yes.
Prove it on the main event.
I'm trying my best.
Friday night on 7.
Next on Hinch, we talk to Sam Neill, from his beginnings in the Sullivans to international stardom. He talks about the roles he's played.
I think playing Michael Chamberlain is probably the toughest thing I've done.
And discusses his leading ladies.
She brings exactly the right things to that part. She's sexy.
An exclusive interview next on Hinch.
And so in that second quarter, Melbourne outscoring the Woods 7-1 to 5-4, but Collingwood still led by 2 points at half-time. We pick up play with some 17 minutes remaining now in the third quarter, and Melbourne is leading by 2 points.
Tarpey from the right back pocket. Kicks over the head of Spencer. Trying to get the ride was Phoebe. Williams put out of business with a good hip and shoulder. That was a throw, wasn't it? Umpire says play on, and Barney does just that. A little bit scrambly the play down there now. Need somebody to pick it up cleanly. And a real huge pack developing, and the umpire will bounce the ball.
An enormous endeavour shown by both sides there, though, Pete. All players prepared to dive in, lay the tackles. And it's only...
wasn't pretty, Bernie.
It wasn't pretty, and we'll just have to see which side cracks first, but no signs at the moment.
Steins shoved out of it. Keogh. Oh, good play, Rod Keogh. Under Todd Viney. He's looking for Owen. Scott Russell played a great game, but this occasion he has put it out of bounds on the full.
Owen's been well held today, Peter, too. Only 4 kicks and 2 hand passes.
Yes, well, Owen and Bennett both being held up there, so no They've needed Cuthbertson to fire. There's Bennett flying. Well read by Beveridge, but he's lost it to Richardson. Alan Richardson to the half-back line. Oh, good strong play. That was by Phoebe. Here's Stretch. Stretch has got a loose man out wide and Steins. Now off he'll go. Probably look for Cuthbertson. Here he is, Cuthbertson. Out in front. That's what I like about that player. Always trying to get that front position. Look at the tackle. Great tackle. Jamie Turner. Kasiska. Collingwood coming away from defence. Tony Francis. The centre of the ground. Stretch at the back in good position. Can't take the mark. He's got backup support. No, this is Grinter. Grinter on the left foot to the half-forward line. Bennett, a one-hander. Couldn't take it. Cuthbertson. Quick hand pass. Tapped on to Gafer. That was from Christian. Back it comes to Francis. Collingwood working well in defence. Francis, a wobbly hand pass. Turner. Well, the Melbourne players waited. Here comes Manson. He's lost it. Brett Lovett. Brilliant skills by Brett Lovett. Socket off the ground, Steins. Beveridge. Turner. Phoebe. A lot of pressure on. Off the ground, and the mark has been taken by Spencer. That was kicked off the ground by Stretch. Now, Spencer is 65 metres from goal. The lead is being made now. The short one is on. Over the back. He'll get there first. This is Ford. Ford hooks it back towards the goal. It could be a goal to Melbourne. It is. Great goal.
Ford's first goal and a timely one for the Demons after some, well, untidy play, ugly play almost, but they really had to work for that kick, Bertie.
They certainly did, Pete, and kicks aren't easy to come by out there at the moment. Enormous pressure being applied by both sides. That's the first goal for the term from either side, and that's come at the 12.5-minute mark of the quarter, so that shows how tight things are out there on the ground.
Under 14 minutes left in the third quarter, and that was the first goal by either side for the term. 56 plays 64 now. Dyson out of the centre, as he did so well and so often last week against North Melbourne at the MCG. Christian takes the mark. Over to Tony Short. Short, left half back. Transfers play to the members side and finds Williams, who takes the mark in front of Phoebe. Collingwood trying to get it moving quickly. McGuan. Campbell playing in front.
That ball's holding up. That Risabree's going Melbourne's in, Pete.
Might be handy in the last quarter for Collingwood as Dyson kicks long, taking full advantage of it. Christian and Owen. Christian almost over to Shaw again with another hand pass. Turner draws the man. McGuan. McGuan from the right half-back flank, starting on the bench today for Collingwood. Kicks up to the half-forward line. And that will be out of bounds. Came off the boot of Campbell, but no free kick.
Francisca being replaced by Dennis Banks. Maybe you heard that hip when he fell over on the other side of the ground there, Francisca, earlier.
Steins tries for Lovett. Went to a teammate anyway. Dyson having a good game. The only player out there with long sleeves. His kick is not a long one. Rod Owen doesn't get the bounce he would have wanted. Turner's done a good job down there at half-back. And Alan Richardson taking a timely mark. That could be almost 50 metres. Rod Viney coming back pretty quickly.
Melbourne are getting killed at half-forward at the moment. I'd get Spalding back onto the ground. Quick smart.
Yeah, they need him there, don't they, Pete?
They certainly do. He works hard. There's Mullane, Starcevic. And I think they've made a bad mistake across half-forward, Melbourne. Starcevic from 50 metres. A beautiful kick right up towards the goal square. Thumped the ground. The dangerous Dacos. Let's see what he can do. Round he comes. Hooks it back. Oh, this could be a great goal. No. Deserved the goal. Bad luck, Peter Dacos.
He measured that, didn't he?
And look at the kicking. 7-15 to 10-4. Melbourne by 7 points. But I'm sure they're kicking with the breeze. Campbell, the stretch. Taps it on and over the line at half-back for Melbourne. I just think that Collingwood are working a little bit harder than Melbourne.
Well, that was a good opportunity there. Stretch out by himself. A long way out by himself, and the kick just not coming off there from full-back from Tony Campbell.
Good hip and shoulder by Williams too. Luke Beveridge. Takes it from mid-air to centre wing. Christian loses out to Viney. Not a great hand pass. He might get a second chance to do something with it. Viney to Beveridge again. Too slow. Collingwood tackling has been good. On the bottom of it, Spencer.
Come on, Pete. That was disgraceful, that decision. Spencer had no opportunity whatsoever to do anything with that ball.
Francis to Alan Richardson. And still he goes. Campbell with a big punch away. Love it. Is that holding the ball or in the back? It's not. It's a boundary throwing, says Peter Cameron. Gary Lyon hasn't been his dominant self today. A little bit of an injury cloud over him. Road offloaded. It's Dyson ultimately. Just up from the back pocket to get a kick in, and it's a pretty good one too. Bounces well for Viney. Turner rides him into the ground. A little toe poke by Owen gets the ball moving. Kerrison in the road. Ball finally slapped out to Owen again on the edge of the square. Measures the pass and measures it well, and Bennett takes the mark.
And couldn't have found a better man there either, Peter, because it's Darren Bennett, the player, to have the kick from just on the 50-metre line. Good play by Rod Owen. He's had a quiet afternoon, been well held. Jamie Turner's done a magnificent job on him. Darren Bennett should have no problem with the distance.
Darren Bennett well held, as you can see, 4 kicks, but a vital kick coming on. He's kicked one. He'll kick from 50 metres out to the right. It's swinging back. It's a beautiful kick, a goal. 2 goals to Darren Bennett. Couldn't have come at a more vital time. 11-4, 70 Melbourne. Collingwood 7-15, 57.
Well, that's a danger for Collingwood.
Ever since we've redesigned our service stations worldwide, something's happened. Millions of new customers have switched to BP. But more than just a shiny new station, these drivers have discovered BP's advanced fuels and oils for optimum engine performance and the convenience of BP's car washes and shops. So you see, our new green stations brought them in. But it's everything else we do that's bringing them back. BP, on the move.
When I buy a van, it has to deliver. And I mean deliver. This Mitsubishi Express does it better than ever. It's got tons of power, loads of space, and all the creature comforts. But at the end of the day, I'm running a business, and I have to make money. That's why I buy Express.
Psst. Hey. Did you know that GIO Australia can give you a 25% no-claim discount on both your home and contents insurance? And a further discount for a combined home and contents policy? No? Well, you should check them out. Phone GIO Australia for a better deal on your home and contents insurance.
You're my world, you're everything to me.
Jen, you can't wear that, it's dirty.
But Mum...
Look, I know it's your favourite, it'll be all right.
There's a special clean you get from a Fab wash. With its built-in fabric softener, it's not only really clean, but fresh and soft as well. Fab. It's a fabulous feeling.
In 12 months, this boy will age 60 years. And in the time that's left, he has 3 wishes. Ralph Macchio in an unforgettable movie premiere Friday. The biggest one wins.
This feels like a monster. Yeah? So does mine.
Are Carly and Ben going to talk themselves into divorce?
So can't you let your pride go just once in your life?
You're dumb. You're plain dumb letting your marriage break up like this.
Yeah, I'll write and I'll let you know when the baby's born.
Is there no turning back in Home and Away tomorrow?
57 plays 70. Bennett's second goal. Under 10 minutes left in this term. Slapped down by Manson. Dyson. She gets a lot of kicks around that centre circle. Spencer and Christian. And rebounds to Banks. Spencer in pursuit. Francis and Ford. All we need is Coppola. And the stalemate develops out there.
Tell you what, that young Dyson, number 50, Bernie, Kevin Dyson, he's just reeks of class, doesn't he?
Well, I gave him 2 votes last week. A magnificent game against North Melbourne. He's continued on this week.
So a bounce on centre wing. Alan Richardson. And the mark taken by one of the best on the ground in my book in Brett Lovett. Done little wrong today to his skipper Gary Lyon, and that won't lose him any points certainly. Lyon from inside the square. Melbourne captain's kick into the open spaces. Spencer racing forward with Banks. A hand pass and a hurried one at that. Back it comes to Dyson. You'll have to get rid of it quickly. Good tackle. Spencer again. Another hand pass. Goes backwards. And this time he does find the player in Stephen Stretch. Not a long kick. Thumped away by Christian. Owen turns on a thrippity bit right on 50 to get the ball back. It could bounce through. It's bounced and it is through for 4 points. Owen kicks his first goal and a valuable one for Melbourne. 12-4 to 7-15.
Yes, Pete, they need to do well in this term too, Melbourne, because as we said earlier, the breeze has stiffened, strengthened towards the end. Melbourne are kicking too. As we have a look at this in replay, Rod Owen, a very quiet afternoon, 6 kicks now, but a very valuable kick there. The tumble punt around the corner from 50 metres, and the wind assisting that, was able to just tumble through. So Rod Owen, he's also very damaging if he gets the ball.
Vital 8 minutes of football coming up. Melbourne on a run at the moment. Steins got that hit out. Tarpey was dragged to ground. Kerrison, a quick kick. Here's a chance for Richardson. Richardson running straight down the ground. The kick is out wide. Can Brown get there? Yes, he can. Beautiful kick.
Well, Collingwood have made a change too, Pete, because Manson's been taken from the ground. Barwick back on, and Tarpey doing the ruck work. Good play by Gavin Brown there, just getting away from Tony Campbell, who's done a fairly good job on him this afternoon, but Gavin Brown reads the play very well.
He's kicked 2, Bernie, and only 5 kicks. Beautifully placed kick that was by Alan Richardson. They need this Collingwood. They need it bad. They need a good straight kick here. And that looked fairly good off the boot, right through the middle, a handy one. Gavin Brown has kicked 3. Collingwood fight back. 8-15-63. Trail Melbourne. And Melbourne are on 12-4, 76.
There's still anybody's game as we have a look at this mark and replay. Gavin Brown running away from play. And Tony Campbell just drawn to Alan Richardson. A good kick there by Richardson and a magnificent kick by Gavin Brown for goal from about 30 metres out.
7.5 minutes left in the quarter. Gavin Brown's 3rd goal. Keogh barges his way through. Unlike one of his predecessors in number 31, Ron Barassi. Christian thumps the ball to ground. Owen, a long hand pass. Chance for Viney if he can pick the ball up. Gets a shocking bounce. Might have got a free kick out of it. And in fact will do. He was tackled too high.
And very fortunate, I thought, Pete, too, because he made it look a lot worse than what it was. Here's Viney. He's slipping over that. Hardly touched him, Michael Christian, and Todd Viney throwing his arms back, just making sure the umpire awarded him that free kick.
Which he did. Kick number 18 for Todd Viney. That makes him one of Melbourne's leading kick getters today. Don't think he'd be too happy with where that one went. Well, luck might be a fortune because Keogh has taken the mark, but I'm sure Peter McKenna wasn't intended for it.
That he'll claim that as a pass in the showers after the game.
I don't think he could even claim that as a pass. It's very fortunate that it went off the side of the boot and Rod Keogh happened to be standing there to take that mark, and he looks like he may have hurt a hamstring or corked a thigh, maybe.
Might be the latter, perhaps. It's not going to help him kick this goal. Oh, it might be a hammy.
Someone else might have to take the kick. Who's there forward?
Bennett should have ran over.
No, the umpire said you have to take the kick. Well, if he doesn't believe him, Pete.
But if his leg's not right,
maybe that's a free kick, not a mark.
What's that?
No, I mean...
No, if you can't take the kick...
A free kick?
No, it's from a mark or a free kick.
All right, we'll have Bill Della on the phone again. What's he done with it? Very hard to read the goal umpire sometimes, but John Nordy has his own thoughts. 8-15 to 12-5, 63 to 77. Dennis Banks to kick the ball back into play. There's 6 minutes left in this term, and really it's shaping up for a thriller in the last quarter. Turner takes the mark in front of Darren Bennett. Bennett's kicked 2 goals today, been overshadowed by Darren Cuthbertson, who's kicked 5. McGuan from left half-back flank kicks long, almost to half forward. Heavy clash down there, but finally it's Campbell to break clear for Melbourne.
Beautiful long kick too. It's Cuthbertson again at the back, but he just misjudged his run then and tripped. And Jamie Turner's been excellent. Played well. A loose man. Mick McGuire coming straight down the centre of the ground. The goal here to Collingwood to be very, very handy. Brett Lovett. Oh, geez, played a great game at half-back today in Melbourne. But he really plays a bad game, Lovett. Now he's kicking short. The player making position, Trevor Spencer, the former Bomber. Now he's playing on, he's kicking it out wide. He's found someone, and it's Luke Beveridge. I don't think it was intended for him. It was meant for Owen. Now Bennett's calling for it long and high. He's going back. Oh, he's got the sit, Darren Bennett. He flies. Oh, it could be a goal.
The umpire's played a free kick against Bennett.
Well, were not his eyes on the ball?
Well, he had his eyes on the ball, but wasn't within 5 metres.
Well, I'll tell you what, should have taken that mark. He really had to sit on Dennis Banks. There's the kick to the half-back line. Rod Owen. Michael Christian working hard around the boundary line. He's found Tarpey. Mullane. There he is again. Brett Lovett, unstoppable on that half-back flank. And he's playing on a much bigger man in Craig Starcevich.
12 kicks and 6 hand passes he's had so far today. Unstoppable, a good word to describe his overall efforts. Spencer gets up. Gerard Healy, any news on Keogh?
Yes, Rod Keogh's left hamstring has gone into spasm, and he won't be able to come back out into the ground unless that relieves. But hopefully it won't take too long to come back.
Spasm, eh? All right. Dyson. That's what I call cramp. Gerard's a physiotherapist, so he knows more about it than I do. Christian, good mark.
Get Spalding back on the ground, Pete. They need him there.
Oh, do they ever?
Turner, Dacos. There's the breaking down badly across the half-forward line. Kick long. A lot of players misread it. Gary Lyon taps the ball out wide. And Dyson on the end of it. He seems to have a little bit of class about him, this fellow. His disposal generally good. This time he's gone for the long kick. Glenn Lovett and Christian. He gets slung out of the road. Spencer kicks it off the ground. Finally gets a hand pass in. Not an effective one. Shaw in front of Glenn Lovett again. Collingwood through Jamie Turner, defending desperately. Better soccer work from Rod Owen if he can pick the ball up. Gets it onto the left foot and has kicked it out of bounds on the full. It will be a free kick to be taken by Dennis Banks, adjacent to the behind post. 3 minutes left in this quarter.
And the next goal, vitally important, Pete.
Spencer and Steins, Christian and Tarpey doing the contesting work there. It's knocked out of bounds. Lee Matthews doesn't look too happy at the moment. Then again, you don't see too many coaches smile in the third quarter. Over the back from Steins. Dacos couldn't do much with it. Tarpey finally. Duel on centre wing, and Dyson, as I said before, it's a class player. A good find by the Demons, takes the mark.
Oh, actually haven't seen a more impressive young player in a long time than Dyson. With so much time. There's Owen, a big grab.
Yes, a good grab too, Rod Owen, over Spencer. And Michael Christian.
Now he's got a loose man out wide in Lovett, and he's got it to him. Glenn Lovett. Now, well, he's looking to play on too, so he's kicked one, Lovett. Pretty acute angle. Will kick from about 35 to 40 metres.
Well, he moved it quickly too, Rod Owen. Good thinking there to get the ball on quickly.
Glenn Lovett for goal number 2. There's the drop part. Will it swing back? I don't think so. It's to the right. So a couple of missed opportunities late in this quarter. 8:15 Collingwood, Melbourne 12-6. So what's that? 8 and 7, 15 points the margin. A handy little break, but Collingwood will come home with the slight breeze in the last quarter.
1.5 minutes left in the term. Dennis Banks kicks in. That's a good kick. Clark. Then Cuthbertson. Dangerous near goal. This fellow, he knows where they are. Does he what? That's goal number 6.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1991 AFL Premiership season.
And so at three-quarter time, the difference was 21 points in favour of Melbourne. Could the Magpies come back in front of a huge crowd out at the park? Let's go now to some highlights of the final quarter.
And the mark at the back to Beveridge. He plays on quickly. Back to Glenn Lovett. 45 metres out from goal. This time, perhaps. Bennett! Next to the behind post is marked. He's kicked 2 goals today. Pretty acute angle, Bertie.
There's very little Dennis Banks could do about that. Just caught out of position. In front, doing the right thing, but Bennett playing on. He's had a snap. I think he's put it through.
He has. It's a goal. Great start for the Demons in the last quarter. Bennett's third. Righty this time. Spears in the pass down towards full forward, and Bennett again takes the mark.
Bennett really appreciating it.
So Darren Bennett coming in for kick number 9 and goal number 5. Again, the distance shouldn't be a problem. Right on 50. Booming drop punt. The goal umpire indicates full points.
Siska has been fairly quiet. Is the young Tasmanian Paul Williams battling hard. All Melbourne players coming from everywhere. Tony Shaw has had a very quiet day. Turner has almost been Collingwood's best. Hand pass to Mullane. Mullane trying to get onto the right foot. Set sail for home, Darren Mullane. And I think it's a goal for the Magpies. It is. Lyon sets himself. Oh, great play. Love it. Have a look at that. Oh, magnificent play. Love it. On to Clark. Now Todd Viney, the leader's on. Oh, great mark, Cuthbertson.
He's got something special about him, this boy, hasn't he?
Oh, championship qualities, this kid. He's going for goal number 7 after 7 last week. What a foil he is for Darren Bennett. Darren Cuthbertson, the boy from Epping. Kicks it goal. It's another one.
And so there it was before a crowd of 55,735. Melbourne victorious by 36 points. Cuthbertson finished up with 7 goals and Bennett 5. And for Collingwood, Mark Richardson, very promising young player. He got 4 goals and Brown got 3. There were no reports and a very, very good win to the Melbourne side after a very slow start to the season over at Subiaco against the West Coast Eagles. We'll take a break and we'll be going to the MCG for the clash between North Melbourne and the Sydney Swans.
Sure, home loan rates have fallen, but only a Westpac home loan will drop an extra 1% per annum off the current rate for the first 6 months of your loan. For an affordable home loan, you can bank on Westpac. Our famous not-so-squeezy canter also comes on all fours.
Excuse me, sir. Would you care to try a nutritious new breakfast cereal?
Oh, well...
It's a free taste test, sir.
Yeah, all right, I'll try it.
Thanks. So what do you think?
Oh, well, it's nice and light and really tasty.
It's new, light and tasty.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's light and tasty. Got the box with you?
Here you go.
Oh, so this is new, light and tasty.
That's what I said. New, light and tasty. You want to try something else?
No, go away.
It's not only light, but it's also tasty. New, light and tasty with 10% oat bran.
When it comes to carpet, there's never been a better time to buy than right now. Look at Solomon's low price on luxurious wool Berber and this beautiful plush pile Scotchgard protected carpet. And if you think that's low, how about $39.50 a metre for Fairpoint Cutloo? Hurry into your Solomon's carpet store. Quality carpets may never be sold this low again from only $39.50 a metre. Hurry, it's for a limited time only.
I think that the Jenny Craig organisation's pretty wonderful because they have addressed the whole aspect of losing weight. They haven't just addressed the problem of diet, which is where other organisations fall down. If someone came to me and said, I've got a weight problem, I'd say, you go along to Jenny Craig, they'll help you.
On Jenny's new Success program, you can lose all the weight you want for 50% off. Why not take advantage of this special half-price offer? Call the centre nearest you today.
Now here's a deal that will take some licking. Free sports bag offer from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Grab 10 big pieces of that unique taste. Add 4 cold Pepsi, they won't go to waste. You get the lot for $16.95. Now at that low price, your budget can survive. But that's not all, there's more to see. On top of that, you get the sports bag free. Not any old sports bag, this one's hit. It's worth over $20 with a strap and a zip. So get the lot, it's a steal. The Kentucky Fried Chicken free sports bag deal. I can't wait!
This weekend, a mega feast of footy on 7. Saturday at 6, Geelong take on the best from the West, plus the Carlton-St Kilda match. Then live from Carrara at 7:30, Brisbane tackle the Essendon Bombers. Sunday, live from Tasmania at 2, Fitzroy versus Hawthorn. Then a history-making live telecast Sunday at 5:30, the Adelaide Footscray clash. It's a mega footy weekend, and it's only on 7.
And welcome back. At the MCG today, North Melbourne and Sydney were both chasing their second win of the season. The Roos keen to make amends after 3 consecutive drubbings in excess of 70 points. Sydney's form, however, has been slightly better. They were competitive against Adelaide at Essendon, in the middle of which they bobbed up for that win against Richmond. At the selection table, North recalled Jose Romero and David Dwyer for Mark Brayshaw and Anthony Stevens, while for Sydney, Gareth John and Ian Roberts were out injured and Craig Nettlebeck was omitted from the side. Tunbridge, West and Wheeler were recalled. Our commentators today, Drew Morfitt and Ian Robertson. We pick up play now with some highlights of the first half.
And the Swans come out of it. Love gets the hand pass wide. Off the ground, Carroll. Might be a goal. Yes!
And we're just in the early part of this first term. There's a good mark taken by Sean Smith. Hand passes away to Spargo. Spargo, a long kick to the goal front. This will bounce through for a goal to North. Spots a player wide. It's Dwyer. Dwyer runs inside 50, may go for goal. David Dwyer, lovely kick by Dwyer, is North's third goal. No, it wasn't Chandler. Now Williams, caught around the neck, gets it away to Mitchell. Mitchell's kick across his shoulder is going to go through for a goal to the Swans. Good kick, Barry Mitchell. Doesn't mess around, kicks it quickly to centre half forward. Capper at the back. Smith gets back for North Melbourne. He's pulled off the football. Love goes for goal, and the Swans have got their 6th. But he was a bit stiff. Greg Williams usually gets a better kick to it than that. The kick goes wide. Murphy, very talented player, David Murphy. Lovely kick to the front of the square. Kappa too early. He kicks it, and he may have kicked a goal. It's all clear a goal. What a wonderful step by Kappa.
Off he goes to Higgins. Now wide for Cordy. And the Swans out of defence. Oh, not out of defence. What a smother that was by Sean Smith. North ball now. Schwass sweeps the hand pass up. Sturitsky. His hand pass is blocked by Lloyd. Smith has to go in and do it again. McCarthy for North. Out to Smith. Well played, Sean Smith. Cap it off some. Out wide to Rock. Rock goes for the goal and kicks a beauty.
Smith kicks it to the front of the goals. A good disciplined kick, but 2-on-1 for the Swans. And they come out on top in front of McCarthy. Henwood takes the mark.
Well, Sean Smith's been one of the stars of the first quarter. 9 possessions. They kick back to centre wing to Greg Williams. And what a star he is too. He's had 9 possessions now himself. Away it goes to Kelly. Short of the goal square. Kappa in the chop here. Comes back to Kappa. Bit fortunate. Left foot snap from a standing start. Here's another one. Kappa's kicked free.
Hayes tries to tap it further, cleared for him. Now the ball finishes with Carroll. Kicks it nicely from a 1 or 2 metre start. Oh, look at that! Hey, Kappa! What a magnificent jump. And he's finished up marking it on his stomach.
Kappa 50 metres, goes for the goal from the goal square and kicks his 4th.
A good punch away by Tui. Goes back towards half forward. Look at this man. Geez, composed. He seemed to have hours to get rid of it. Goes away and the kick, it's a goal. Kicked by Carroll.
High kick to full forward. McCarthy, who's spoiled by Longmire. Maybe Longmire spoiled by McCarthy, but the two of them fighting for each other for the ball. German, great hand pass, and Romero kicks a goal.
Gallagher gets the tap out, knocks it towards centre half forward. Swans go back, but Rock, lovely hand pass. Larkin should goal from here. 40 metres out, directly in front. Punch for goal and puts it through.
Thing coming. Overrun by Chandler. Well, North defence letting the ball get behind them. Mitchell into Williams. Williams to Kappa at full forward. Kappa climbs and marks spectacularly. This for goal number 5 and his best haul of the season.
Carroll's kick up towards centre half forward. Getting back is Smith, helping out Sturitsky. Ball comes out the back, right. Shares it with Kelly. Kelly for North Melbourne, kicks for goal. It's another goal to the Swans.
And Greg Williams, to this stage, 6 kicks and 12 hand passes, and he's got about 13 minutes to go in the second quarter. Longmire takes the hand pass, and the man who led the goal kickers last year gets his first today.
And the aerial work of these players has been terrific. Spargo punts for goal. North eventually get one on the board. Spargo's kicked his 3rd. Ross Smith to kick the ball back into play for North Melbourne. Goes straight up the ground. No mark taken. Williams holds it up just nicely. Mitchell takes the hand pass. Mitchell makes no mistake with those. They're bread and butter stuff.
Hand pass is knocked down by Lloyd. Harris into Rock. Further afield to German. German been a star for North. Caps it off with a goal.
And kicks it long up towards full forward. Kappa in front. No, it's punched away. Williams is there, so is Larkin. Kicked by Mitchell. Close to the goal line. It bounces through. Mitchell gets his fourth.
Mackenzie comes down to Williams. Gee, you'd like to be playing near Greg Williams. Lewis took advantage this time and kicks a goal. Easy as you like.
About G. Williams, number 2 in the Swans, Guernsey. 6 kicks and 15 of the most magnificent hand passes you've ever seen. Applied the tackle, but let the player get clear. This time it's Spargo. And Paul Spargo punts for goal, and he puts it through for his fourth.
An amazing half of football. 19 goals kicked by the Sydney Swans up until the main change. 19-6 great kicking, and North Melbourne had 13-12 on the board. The Swans by 5 goals at the main change. We're going back to the third quarter now, and Sydney is still leading, but only by 17 points.
The Swans lead by 17 points, 28 to 16-15.
In this quarter, North have kicked 3-3 to the Swans 1-2. Williams dragged down when he'd lost the ball. Now, actually, the tackler a bit stiff then. He wasn't to know the ball had spilt a free. Bit unlucky, Chandler. Free kick to Williams in the direction of Kappa. Spoiled by Martin. Carroll off the ground trying his second soccer kick goal. Charging straight at it, Smith. And again for Larkin. Larkin's left footer up short of centre wing. Carey nudges out Tui. Free kick to Tui.
They've had a great battle, those two. Tui probably in front at this stage because his defensive work has certainly restricted Carey's opportunities.
Kicked by Bernard Tui. Kappa works to the front. Flicks to the back to Brayshaw. High kick, no distance. And a mark to Carroll. You'd nearly kick it from here. Breeze at his back from that side of the ground. And Dennis Carroll about 60 metres out. Oh, it's a bit off the hands to Martin. And that's out of bounds on the full. Now this could be a goal to Murphy, although a difficult shot from this pocket.
David Murphy kicking from just inside 50 metres. Forward line, only one move coming so far from Stevie Wright. So Murphy looking to kick it. No, he's going in short. Pass is okay, and the player leading has been given the mark. It's Love, is it? Love, who's kicked 3 goals. Not a bad effort in the finish because the pass was a little high. Had to stand his ground and eventually took it at the second grab. 7 kicks, 5 hand passes to Jason Love. Breeze just strengthening a little will make it difficult, but he does it pretty well in the finish and kicks his 4th goal. So Jason Love, 4 out of 21's not a bad effort, playing at half forward pocket, 21-8 to 16-15, and the Swans, that really was a badly needed goal to stem the tide from North Melbourne.
And against your old team, they'd be pretty sweet, those 4 goals. Back in the centre again. Tunbridge gets it down. Kelly pulled off his kick. Murphy, but marked in defence by Fairley. He puts it out wide. Chandler. Jeff Chandler coming up to Bays, drawing the man. Pops it over the top to McCarthy. Back to Chandler. Good 1-2. And he goes for a bit of distance. Sean Smith streams out. Wheeler gets there to make a contest of it. Roving Romero. Oh, the wrong man, Spargo. And desperation. I bet it's Smith. I can't even see him. Number 32 again. Kept that ball in. Sean Smith, he's done it all day.
And Chandler, who made the run around this member's wing then, has got blood streaming from a cut over his right eye.
Ball up right in front, about 40 to 45 metres out for North. Oh, Gallagher, easily. It's too easy, that. German kicks a goal.
Michael Caine, running from divorce.
I've been taken to the cleaners more times than this shirt.
Sally Field, looking for marriage.
Marty is not the first guy to come along. He's just the first one with a car.
They met by accident.
Is there anything I can do?
Quit moving.
And fell in love.
I'm on my way to heaven.
A fairy tale romance with one problem.
I have a boyfriend.
Marry me, Daisy.
Steve Gutenberg.
Nobody leaves Marty Caesar.
Surrender. Premieres Sunday, launching Seven's Affairs of the Heart Week.
Everyone's raving about Death in Brunswick.
Oh, it's great.
Enjoyed it very much.
Fantastic.
Very funny. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great film.
I thought it was brilliant.
Loved it.
Excellent. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it immensely.
Starring Sam Neill,
He was really excellent.
Zoe Carides,
She's gorgeous.
and John Clark.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Was that you? Huh? Must have been me. Sorry.
Death in Brunswick.
It was a hoot.
Performance like this takes the sustained energy that only one cereal was created to give. Kellogg's Sustain.
Made for the Australian Institute of Sport, this scientific balance of delicious grains, fruit and nuts, complex carbohydrates, controlled sugar with low salt and fat gives the essential fuel for lasting energy and better performance. A fact champions like these prove every day.
Kellogg's Sustain keeps the energy in your day longer.
Panadol is Australia's most trusted pain reliever. In fact, Panadol is now sold in over 30 countries around the world. And despite all the latest developments in the treatment of headache, pain and fever, there still isn't a pain reliever more gentle to the stomach than Panadol with paracetamol. Naturally use Panadol tablets only as directed, and if pain persists, please see a doctor. Panadol, Australia's trusted pain reliever.
Mobil presents Dr. Hans Weisbart, Chief Designer, BMW Munich.
Nun, Treibstoff kann einen Motor einfach nicht anders laufen lassen.
Petrol cannot make an engine do things it has not been designed to do.
Aber ein Treibstoff, der in der Lage ist, das Kraftstoffsystem von Schmutz und Ablagerungen.
However, a petrol capable of keeping a fuel system free of dirt and deposits lets an engine run at its very best.
Dies ist, was BMW
Now, that's what BMW wants from a petrol. That's what you should want.
Wenn Sie einen solchen Kraftstoff finden,
If you find a petrol which does that, buy it.
Mobil Petrol.
Martin Winnicombe, gold medal winner for Australia. His energy source, Lucozade.
So back to 17 points in the Swans' favour. Tunbridge. Oh, Williams, was he held? No. Yes, he was. Eventually the free kick goes to the brilliant centre man from Sydney. Coming up for his 30th possession. I said before the game if he got 60 possessions they'd nearly win it. Well, he's halfway there. Kicking towards full forward. No mark. Yes, a great effort by Brayshaw in front of young Lewis. And Brayshaw takes the mark at half-backing. Transfers play straight across the ground. Leading out here is Chandler. He's playing on Williams. Kick short is okay. Mark is taken by Scholl. Handball over the top. Spargo. Run on quickly. Williams is close to you. He does. Kicks it into the full forward area. Out in front, Longmire. The bounce is not handy for Longmire. And eventually it's taken over by Lloyd. About 25 to 30 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. Swans lead, but it's being pegged back. Lloyd in trouble. Rock, good tackle. Knocked away by Henwood. Goes back towards Toohey. Kick off the ground by Tunbridge is ineffective. Good hand pass by Gallagher. Goes back to Spargo. Spargo across his left side in towards centre half forward. McCarthy! What a magnificent leap by the great McCarthy. And he's marked about 30 metres out directly in front.
That was like a Michael Roach mark from years ago. He got up so high he had to lean down for it.
Great effort, John McCarthy. He's kicked one. Should kick this directly in front, 30 metres. Oh, he's let himself down. Johnny McCarthy, 1 goal, 3. And the difference, 16 points.
Henwood kicking in. To the front to Rock. Ramiro, great hand pass. Larkin runs onto it. He loves the left foot. Right through the middle. Matthew Larkin kicks his third, second this quarter. North right back in it, trailing by 10 points.
Oh, a great play. Anthony Rock getting a pat on the back from Wayne Carey, finishing with Larkin. And really, North Melbourne look better when Matthew Larkin is roaming around the ground getting possessions. His third goal, and it pulls North to within 10 points. 134 plays 124. Gallagher misses it, so does Tunbridge. Gallagher goes after it again. Kick out by Kelly, doesn't go very far. Chandler's doing well in the clinches. Kick to centre wing. Eustace should have grabbed that. Lewis should have. Spargo goes in with desperation in front of Higgins, and the umpire calls for a bounce. The North fans have come to their feet now. Certainly something to shout about. North Melbourne making some sort of a charge. They started this quarter at 13-12, and they've progressed.
5-4 to 2-2 this quarter.
Doing well.
Larkin to Spargo in plenty of space. Oh, Longmire 30 metres in the clear. And a straight kick here by Longmire would put North within a straight kick. And you can just see the spirit amongst the North players. Earlier on, goals were coming at such a rate that it was almost, oh, there's another one. But now they're running the length of the field to pat teammates on the head. Longmire, oh, he's missed his third for the quarter. And North could have been well in front had he kicked all those, all gettable. Longmire has kicked 2-4.
He doesn't get enough from his opportunities, really, Johnny Longmire, does he? Drew last year on, if I remember correctly, going for his 100th goal out at Waverley against Collingwood in the last game. Kicked something like about 2-8 or something. Similar to that anyway. Kick in goes to centre half back. North Melbourne have got the numbers here. Streaming from centre half back is Brayshaw. He's done well back in that position. Bouncing ball is awkward. Ramiro gathers unselfishly to Rock. Here's another North Melbourne goal. No, Rock, oh, sprays it badly. It's out of bounds on the full. And a consoling pat on the head by Ramiro for his fellow small man Anthony Rock. Oh, there's a great leap by Scholl. Can't quite grab it. Rock is in the action again. Tackled by Higgins. Getting back Bays, gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell's torpedo punt kick goes towards the centre wing. Punched away from behind by Fairley, but he had his arm on the shoulder, and the free kick will go to West.
So that was pretty tough. West to half forward. Kappa kicked 5 to half time. Haven't seen it since then. Flipped out. It goes to Chandler. Over the top to Brayshaw. North getting out of defence. Rock. Hand passes chopped off by West, who knocks it out of play just as it looked as though Fairley was going to dash away with it. So still a really good contest going on. We have had now 39 goals aggregate, and there is 9 points the difference.
Very interesting game still here at the MCG. Either team can win it. And again, at number 30 for North Melbourne. You've got to admire him because he's a very, very hard man to beat, Jeff Chandler. Boundary throw in. Gallagher gets it. Williams collects it beautifully. Kicks it to the front of the goals. Kappa. No, punched away by Martin. Good play. Kept his footing nicely, but he's going to be under pressure here. Oh, he goes out of bounds. Could have nearly been a free kick for deliberate. No, umpire calls for the boundary to throw it in. And it's just inside the 50-metre line. So the Swans are a chance to score here. Tunbridge coming in from behind. Gallagher's not in the contest, but he takes it like a ruck rover and then gives it to German. Now North Melbourne can rebound from half-back. Peter German, kick towards centre-half forward. Carey and Toohey. Out comes McCarthy. Breaks the tackle. John McCarthy. Short pass is beautiful. Longmire over the top. North Melbourne will score through Sean Smith.
designing the new Magna's interior, the people at Mitsubishi Australia kept one philosophy in mind. To understand the beauty of nature as a whole, one must study a single blade of grass, and then the blade of grass next to it, then the blade of grass next to that. Please consider.
You need a new pair of glasses, and you think you've found the pair you want, but what about that other pair? A different pair for a different look altogether. So which one will you choose? With the Vision Express 2-for-1 offer, get both pairs. At Vision Express, when you purchase a complete new pair of prescription glasses, you get a second pair free from our French collection. A look for now and a look for later. 2-for-1 and all in 1 hour at Vision Express. Available now at Knox District Centre, Southland Shopping Centre, Burke Street City and Myer City Store.
Innocent people are being victimized every day.
Give me your money now, sucker. No problem.
Finally, there is someone to speak for them.
Is there a problem here? You cannot handle this by yourself. No problem.
In his explosive motion picture debut, Jeff Speakman is the perfect weapon.
Oh, he doesn't muck about, and neither should you. Catch it now.
We could bottle the Black Douglas after just 3 years and still call it Scotch. But then the pure Highland water, the barley, and the flavour of the peat would miss out on the 5 extra years to smooth and enhance the character. Is the Scotch you're drinking aged for 8 years or only 3? The Black Douglas, aged in Scotland, all of its 8 years.
Victoria Principal is the ruthless Hollywood mistress,
It's showtime.
living in a steamy world of endless affairs,
I can keep a man 3 years tops.
seducing countless millionaires.
I want you with me. I'm the most generous person I've ever known.
For a lifestyle of wealth and indulgence.
There is nothing in your name.
And she'll do anything to keep it.
Menage a trois could be interesting sometime.
Victoria Principal is the mistress. Premieres Monday in Seven's Affairs of the Heart Week.
And in a very high-scoring game, it all pointed to a thriller in the final quarter. The Swans 134 to North 132 at the final change. Let's go back to our commentators now, Drew Morfitt and Ian Robertson.
Well, stay seated, folks, because there's some excitement in store for you. After 3 quarters, Sydney lead North Melbourne by 2 points. 30 minutes of action here at the MCG to see who can come out with their second win of the season between North Melbourne and the Swans. The mark is taken.
Has he got the distance? Carey, he's got it! And Sean Smith nearly hugged the air out of Wayne Carey after he took the mark, and this should put North in front. And this will be the first time since the 20-minute mark of the first quarter. The Swans kicked 9 goals in the first quarter and 10 in the second to lead by 5 goals at half-time in a very high-scoring game, but North had come back, particularly in that third quarter when they kicked 6 goals to 2. Carey from only metres out gets the goal. We have a new leader. Second goal for Wayne Carey. And North are 20-18, leading Sydney 21-8.
Well, it was a probably a suspect mark, I thought, paid to Scholl out there on the 50-metre line, and I really thought he played on. Umpire allowed him to take his kick, but what a great mark by Carey. Gallagher rucking nicely. Tunbridge gets the tap out, goes wide to the wing. The fight is on. Murphy dispossessed by Rock. Rock goes back to Scholl. Scholl's kick. 35-40 metres towards North Melbourne's goal. Wide at half forward. McCarthy into the play. Short pass. a little too short for Longmire. Kick off the ground goes back to McCarthy. Shot for goal by McCarthy is across the face and through for one behind. Should have handballed Drew, do you think?
Oh, he had a couple of players right in front of goal.
Well, it's amazing. Those goals, when they loom up, players can't get them out of their mind.
Well, in a game where we've had 41 goals kicked, I suppose it's fair to say plenty of players have seen the goals and gone for them. Gallagher from behind, all North Melbourne at ground level at the back of the pack. Larkin dishes off the hand pass to Dwyer, making a return to league football today. Short pass to Smith on the 50-metre line. In a hurry over the top to Rock. Awkward one for him to mark. Henwood straight at it. Got rid of Rock easily. But Henwood's kicked no distance out of defence. Romero, back he goes. Dwyer spinning. Gets it away to Larkin, but it fell short of him. Socket off the ground by Mitchell. Williams in the middle, dragged to the ground.
Should be penalised.
And the umpire's going to ball it up, and the North fans going crook at that.
Well, I like to see the player who's tackled well and taken to the ground not penalised, particularly if nothing you can do about moving it on. But I thought Greg Williams there had some chance. Kick off the ground by Scholl, goes to centre forward. Carey, good play too. He's still got the footy. Now he moves it out, but he's being penalised. And 1 minute you get it not being paid, the next minute you get it being paid. Free kick to Carey. Up towards full forward. Longmire, hindered by a leg injury, close to the boundary line. Keeps it in, shoots for goal. It comes around, but not enough. And it's through for John Longmire's fifth behind. 2-5 to the champion North Melbourne full forward. 98 goals last year, but struggling in the early part of season 1991.
Well, last week, Sydney led against Essendon and were overrun. Will the same happen again? Oh, good mark by Gallagher, who's played an excellent game for North in the ruck. Ex-Carlton man. Actually, North have been in games early, but have been overrun, been beaten by 12 goals in their last 3 games. The pattern this time is looking a little bit different. Kick by Gallagher wide. Carey, the hand pass into Spargo. Spargo can't quite break the tackle. Back to Larkin on the 50. Wide for Chandler. Chandler on the left boot. Hoists it high. Difficult one to mark. Smith, the best man there for North, and outnumbered about 3-1. Henwood traps it to Mitchell. Mitchell out of the back pocket. Chandler again, who is...
Oh, it's against Brayshaw on Lewis.
A shepherd off the ball.
Keeping him out of the marking contest. It was a great decision by the umpire. Lewis's kick up towards half forward. Love and Ross Smith. The ball goes over for a boundary throw-in. Dale Lewis, he's been a little quiet. He's had 10 kicks and 1 mark. Kicked a goal. Bays. Gallagher gets the tap out. Goes down to the front. Williams tries to tap it on. But to no avail. We'll have another boundary throw-in. Swans player preparing to come on is Mackenzie. And the other player on the bench for the Swans at the start of this quarter is Neil Cordy. Mitchell's kick is smothered. They've got the numbers though. Mitchell's a chance to get another possession. He does, but it doesn't go very far. Pulled off the football. Now North Melbourne. Chandler goes to Larkin. Larkin with strength. Have a look at this guy doing something with the football, constructive. 3 bounces. Kicks to the front. Looking in there for Longmire, and Longmire doesn't let him down. He marks 40 metres from goal directly in front. Love to watch Matthew Larkin. Very, very well proportioned. Controls the footy at all times. Now Longmire shooting for goal. It's a goal. Longmire kicks his 3rd goal. He's kicked 3-5. And North Melbourne, they get out to a 2-goal advantage, and they've started this last quarter very, very well.
Ever since we've redesigned our service stations worldwide, something's happened. Millions of new customers have switched to BP. But more than just a shiny new station, these drivers have discovered BP's advanced fuels and oils for optimum engine performance and the convenience of BP's car washes and shops. So you see, our new green stations brought them in. But it's everything else we do. that's bringing them back. BP, on the move.
When you have the tradition, the pride and the spirit, it shows in everything you do. Carlton, one of the world's great brewers.
The new tax rules for savings accounts and investments start soon. So time is running out to provide your bank or investment body with your tax file number or exemption. If you have any questions about the new rules, phone the hotline. This is the number to call: 008 021 329. Make sure you know how the new tax rules for savings accounts and investments concern you.
They've got great taste for living, they've got great taste in clothes, they've got great taste for breakfast, helps them carry that load. They've got great taste for living, they do it their way. And they've got great taste for breakfast, sets them up for the day.
Fibre Plus from Uncle Toby's. More fruit and nuts, great taste.
Great taste for bread.
Why is it that one sock always seems to get lost in the wash? The solution is Lockups, a range of top-quality socks with the unique sock lock device that keeps them together. New Lockups from Fitwear, the socks that won't escape in the wash.
Some houses might as well be made of cardboard. They lose so much heat. But not this house. It's a new 3-star home with approved insulation. In the ceiling, in the walls, in the floor. Now all new homes must be 3-star homes. Good thing. They'll cut heat loss by up to 40%, save up to $300 a year in energy bills, and cut greenhouse gas emissions by up to 3 tonnes a year. You can upgrade your home with approved insulation in the ceiling. Get a free brochure from your local gas and fuel showroom, or ring the Energy Information Centre on 03 650 1195. You'll save heat and money.
And keep Vic fit.
Everyone's raving about Death in Brunswick.
Oh, it's great. Enjoyed it very much. Fantastic. Very funny. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great film.
I thought it was brilliant.
Loved it.
Excellent. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it immensely.
Starring Sam Neill,
He was really excellent.
Zoe Carides,
She's gorgeous.
and John Clark.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Was that you?
Huh?
Must have been me. Sorry.
Death in Brunswick.
It was a hoot.
If you like it served up slightly weird with a dash of madness and heaps of fun on the side, then you're going to love Tonight Live next.
Well, the Swans have come to a bit of a standstill. They've kicked just 2 goals since half-time after being 19-6 to the long break. Greg Williams, absolutely brilliant. And that is holding the ball. Kelly, no whistle on it. Comes back to Williams, wide for Kappa. Kappa can't quite get to it. Look out, here comes Martin. And Kappa, I think, was out before he kicked it. Oh, the umpire's free kicked him. Oh, I'd like to see that again.
Over the boundary line.
I think dead set. I think the boundary umpire was struggling to keep up.
Oh, that's ridiculous. And in a close game, that could come down to a very, very awkward decision.
Warwick Kappa kicked 5 goals to half-time and has had a tough time getting it since then. At the back of the pack, Williams. Well, he couldn't get possession that time. Rock took it away off the ground. Chandler, who's Williams' third opponent in the centre. Spargo, been a star. He was the first centreman for North and kicked a couple on Williams. Romero, Longmire can't mark. Here comes Carey. He's had a great duel with Tui and he hasn't been dominant at all, Wayne Carey. The hand pass Scholl back to German. In the clear, Longmire. Second in a couple of minutes. A shocking kick. But Smith marks some goals. Third goal to Sean Smith. And North moving away from the Swans now, 22-20 to 21-8.
North Melbourne have kicked the last 6 goals in this match, and they now lead by 18 points. Their last goal being kicked by that man there, Sean Smith. Got a couple of walking wounded. He's one of them. Johnny Longmire looks as though he's on one leg, but They're doing it well. They lead by 18 points. They get clear again. Staritsky gets his right foot to the ball, goes to centre half forward. Oh, they nearly should have taken it again. Tunbridge goes to Lewis. Lewis has got space. Favoured left foot, kicks it high out towards half forward, and a good mark taken by Scholl. A little too tall for David Murphy. Plays on quickly. Left foot kick is a bit of an up and under towards centre half forward. McCarthy. Good mark, John McCarthy. He plays on. He's very definite this afternoon. North Melbourne mark again, Longmire. And their key forwards coming into play now. Carey, Longmire, McCarthy. Sean Smith.
Actually, with stats like that, Longmire should have kicked more than 3 goals.
Well, he was fairly close in that third quarter with 1 or 2 shots, but one hit the post, I think, one straight over the goal post. But this is for his 4th, and it's close, but it's through. So North Melbourne running all over the Swans in the last term. We started with the Swans at that score, and North Melbourne on 132. But the Kangaroos have proceeded to 158. Sydney anchored on the 134.
Well, is it possible for a team to kick 19 goals to half-time and then take a thrashing? It's looking a bit that way at the moment. Gallagher thrashing them in the ruck. McCarthy to Longmire. Ramiro. Jose regains his footing, beats 1, beats 2, off to McCarthy, and McCarthy's hit the post. And he is starting to string the behinds together like Longmire was. McCarthy's kicked 1-5.
And that's the 3rd poster they've had in the second half of this game. 2 in the 3rd quarter and 1 so far in this last term. And the Swans being overrun. Tui, straight up the ground. Ball holding up a little. North Melbourne mark nearly to Longmire, taken by Kelly. Tunbridge not ready for it. Kelly takes it from right. It was a free kick, but play will go on. Wheeler running through the centre. Kicks it high towards full forward. Certainly the wind going with North Melbourne. Good mark to Martin, who's kept Kappa goalless in this second half. He's a tough campaigner, is Michael Martin. Kick straight down the ground. Back in towards the centre. Nearly a mark to Carey. Opportunity for McCarthy. Tries to handball it on. Punch by Wright. No one home for the Swans. Wheeler's 1 on 4. Good gather by Rock. Handball over the top. Goes back in towards the centre. German's run down. Could have nearly been classified as a throw. Play on, says the umpire. Fairley gets it. Kicks it across his body, and good control of the footy by Staritsky. Handball is sloppy. Puts Chandler under enormous pressure, but he gets the hand pass away. Now coming back to recover was Staritsky, and he does it well. Spargo, handball over the top. Into goals goes Sean Smith. It's close, but he missed to the left. And Sean Smith has kicked 3-2 for the Kangaroos. 23-22, plays 21-8. Difference 26 points in favour of North Melbourne.
And the Swans led by 30 points at half-time. Greg Williams has been superb. McCarthy off to Scholl. Craig Scholl on the run. Centres for Carey. Over the top, Henwood. Excellent mark. Stayed on Longmire all day. And Longmire, 2 goals this quarter. Now, Sean Smith has played an unbelievable game. That's his 8th mark. He's coming up for his 19th possession. And can he jump?
Good hands too, Drew. Oh, great hands there.
And that right thigh heavily strapped. He doesn't look 100% fit even. Well marked by Tui. The Swans need something out of this. Off the hands, Fairley back there. Wide for Brayshaw, number 44. Good hand pass on the turn. Larkin. North running well at the moment. Rock. Beaten by Mitchell in the first half. Rock pops it wide. German, top player for North. Peter German thumps a right footer. Longmire came from behind to work in front and beat Henwood again. So John Longmire looking for his 3rd goal for the quarter and his 5th for the game. Be tough for the Swans to come back from here. Longmire's done it. 24-22 to 21-8. And it's a 32-point lead to North. Incredible.
Aggregate 300 points for what it's worth.
And another goal and a behind to equal Bob Cowper on this ground.
Is that right? 307?
Yep.
What a great score by Bobby Cowper. But getting back to the footy, John Longmire's got 5 goals. So he's now equal. Highest individual goal scorer for the day. Gallagher gets the tap out. Rock can't break clear. Chandler can't break clear. And the umpire will call for a bounce. Done a great job, Jeff Chandler, in the second half. He went on to Greg Williams, I think, in the second term. You may have mentioned, Drew, he was Williams' third opponent. And Williams was dominant in the first half with 24 possessions. He's had 35, but 11 in the second half is nowhere near the 24 that he had, which were fantastic, giving everyone a chance to run into the open with short passes or hand passes. So Chandler's negating effort on Greg Williams certainly has had a lot to do with North Melbourne getting back into this game. Gallagher, Tunbridge, taken by Dwyer. Dwyer's kick to centre-half forward. Romero, good roving. Tap on is really not effective enough for Peter German. Peter German goes after it again. Dennis Carroll, who's been out of it in the second half. Wheeler's caught with the footy. Could be penalised. No. Larkin, again, look at him. Takes those 3 or 4 real decisive strides to get into the clear and then delivers the ball beautifully to Carey about 45 metres from goal. Carey to an unguarded goal, kicks and kicks another North goal.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1991 AFL Premiership season.
Another very high-scoring game at the MCG. In the end, it was North Melbourne by 54 points. Longmire 5 and Spargo 5, the major goal kickers for Sydney. Kappa 5 and 4 each to Love and Mitchell. We still have 5 games to complete the round over Saturday and Sunday. Geelong to play the West Coast in the match of the round out at VFL Park. West Coast have made no changes to their side. At Carlton, 3 changes. Silvani is in their side after 1 week suspension. For Essendon, Watson and Salmon, 2 or 4 changes. They're back in the side. Hawthorn, interestingly, Hall and Mew in their side for their clash down at the North Hobart ground on Sunday. And the other big game, of course, Adelaide and Footscray starting at 5:30. Eastern summertime. Negri has been omitted from the Adelaide lineup. Hope you enjoyed the footy today. Hope you can join us over the weekend. A very good night to you all.
This has been a 7 Sport production. The 1991 AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, BP, Westpac, CUB, McEwen's and Vulcan Heating.
A case of surrogate motherhood.
I signed a contract to have a husband's child.
You're exploiting her. Doctor.
Who's right, who's wrong? On A Country Practice, Monday.
Now, no 50 from Penny this time. He just guards a mark. Sharp goes onto his left. A poor kick. Straight to Gross.
His calf's definitely playing up. He grimaced in pain. We'll see him here if we can when he takes the mark. There's
he's grimacing. He comes down.
Ross's kick. Butterfins, what a grab! David Butterfin.
Sensational.
He used poor old Chris Sharp as the step ladder, and he's really grimacing now. Trying to match the grab there is Hamilton, who feeds the ball out to Bird. Good length on the handball. Oakley backs under pressure here. Dalrymple. Clever tap back towards Reid. Smothered over by Atherton.
Some tired boys out there. It was almost slow motion, that passage of play.
Mostly cramp, I think.
Yes. Well, it's such a warm day.
Kick smothered off the boot from Robinson. Bolty trying to finesse a little handball.
Someone's going to end up with it shortly, surely.
Merton got it shortly. Ends up with Templeton. Blind kick. You see his head was down there and he just tried to hack it out of immediate danger. Went straight to Zarafa. Long kick coming from Penny, was it? Yes. Ball knocked away from Lyle. Now here's Burke. Popping it up. Butterfant. Oh, it stayed in play. Oakley have plenty of numbers to make something happen here. Atherton's kick. Lets in Brosnahan. Play. Tackles Bolte. The ball had gone out of his grasp.
That's Reed grabbing his hand or knee, is it?
I think he might have dislocated a finger.
Up to Lyle, didn't quite bring it down. Butterfant goes down, finds Hicks. Hicks at goal, dribbling kick. Gets there, and Scott Hicks gets his 4th goal.
Those Hicks boys know how to kick a goal, don't they, Roscoe?
They do indeed.
Brother of Ashley. Good snapshot goal. Touch of luck, of course, because it bounced. Probably bounced about. Let's have a look. Oh, well, two or 3 metres. 2 or 3 steps, probably. More to the point. But it's a procession now, unfortunately. For Box Hill, that is.
And if they really wanted to, the Mustangs, they could win by a huge amount here, but I think they're just going through the motions, really. Zarafa.
How many easy possessions has he picked up across that half-back line?
Well, he hasn't been picked up all day, so I don't know where he's playing.
I think he just plays a kick behind the players on the ball.
He does. Into time on now. Moody. Brosnahan. Poor old number 12, Anthony Pomozza, has just been chasing Brosnahan in vain all day, and this bloke's really worked hard, Peter Hickey. Good kick too. Briggs, he's played pretty well after half-time.
Yes.
Owen has been virtually unsighted.
Had a brief stint there in the 10 minutes of burst in the 3rd quarter.
They need him firing, and there's a good mark taken by Matthew de Boer. Wants a Butterfant mark. Well, he didn't get a mark, but Butterfant's ended up with it. Good persistence. Kept his feet well. Bolte. Sutherland.
He's tried hard too, Sutherland.
Rangy type. I think he's got a bit of cramp problem as well.
Well, it's surprising, really, that so many players are cramping.
Andrew Sutherland, 60 metres out from goal. Preto pushed underneath it, and the mark taken by another cramping player behind the pack. Who's this? It's Matthew Melody. Martin Melody, sorry.
He started off very well, Pete, in that first quarter, and then went out of the game.
Only 5 metres out. Pops it through for a behind. So they still haven't kicked a goal in this quarter, Oakley, which is 27 minutes old, and fitness is telling. They were very much conscious of Preto there, and it left Melody behind the pack to mark.
Yes, we've got to the point where the little blokes are the ones that are required to take the grabs now.
Banfield's kick in the direction of O'Neill. Penny's kick, tap on from Butterfant's, good play. Oh, lovely handball from Hamilton. The running Hicks. Good, long, fast lead made there by Burke. Hasn't been an Oakley player touch this ball, and it's come from full-back, Brosnahan. Good persistence from Panozzo, and he gets it across there too.
Gabbo!
His kick went straight to De Boer. There was a similarity, Sam.
Just couldn't make it to the touchline.
Dalrymple, heaps of time here to make up his mind. Lots of players to try and pick out. He goes in the direction of Brosnahan, and a big mark from Sutherland.
Did a bit of a leap, this boy.
Yes.
Bounces up quickly. And he finds Lemon.
Real dasher. That's a good grab for a smallish player.
Been some fine marks taken today.
They have, Peter. There's our man again.
Hickey. Beautiful kick too. Oh, well snagged by Penny.
It's a game of marking.
He came from heaven then, Penny. And he finds Butterford, he's played very well this second half. Wants to kick a goal here. Got shepherding from Lyle. Not such a good kick, David Butterford.
Lyle ran right across him. David Butterford was all set to unleash a big kick and had to say to Big Mark, look, get out of the way, will you? I'm heading for home.
Played 28.5 minutes. Mitchelson's kick, a blind one. Straight to Zarafa. Not such a good kick. Hicks waiting for it. Atherton, well, he was trying to just make a bit of distance there. Hicks wants a free. Good umpiring to let that go.
Was too.
Merton's kick finds Melody. On centre wing, Martin Melody. Nothing really to kick to. Hawker. They'll take it away easily, Box Hill. O'Neill flips it around the corner. They're really just going at half pace, Box Hill, at the moment. Gross, beautiful handball to Dalrymple. Beautiful pass. And Byrne kicked the first goal of the match. Just about get the last here, directly in front from about 50 metres.
I think there have been times, Peter, where Box Hill have fiddled and they should have been driving the ball longer to this player. And that's why they haven't scored the goals probably that they could have.
Beautiful delivery. Ashley Byrne kicks his third.
It's been well held in the second half, actually. We had a very quiet third quarter and relatively quiet, but I agree with you. I think they haven't used him well at all.
No, I think he should be a real prime take. He is a very, very good player.
Ooh.
Beautifully balanced, great hands, good kick, and a tremendous team player.
6 goals for him in VFA football so far. He kicked 8 goals in this last quarter to 0. Box Hill. DeVore's tap. The hard-working Merton got it forward. Hawker's kick. Spilt there by Sharp. Zarafa's handball. Banfield. Convincing win by Box Hill, who I don't think really extended themselves in disposing of Oakley at Oakley's home ground. So not the best of starts for Oakley for season 1991. Peter Hickey was a hard try, but they were cut down by injury early on and they really just had to scrap and eventually class one out. And Terry Smith perhaps thinking he might have a long season in front of him. A 13-goal 1 victory today for Box Hill. Preto, the leading goal kicker of the match, with 6. Kicks 3 in the first quarter, 3 in the third. Didn't get any at that main grandstand end for the match. The goal kickers evenly spread for Box Hill. Scott Hicks got 4, 3 apiece to Byrne, Burke and Butterford. Brosnahan kicked 2, Zarafa 2, Lyle 2. So any number of avenues up forward for Box Hill today, and they did it on the bit, winning by 13 goals 1. Anything to add, gents? You probably summed the match up pretty well during this last quarter, which really was just being played out.
Well, it was a mere procession, and it's a shame that it happened in the manner in which it did, because it detracted from Oakley's fine-spirited performance of the first 2.5 quarters. But I'm still far from convinced that Box Hill, you know, are going to threaten the heavyweights of the competition. I saw too many things in that first 2.5 quarters when the game really had to be won, when it was an intense pressure cooker situation that I didn't really like about them. But sure,
they've got some
yes, no, I agree, Phil. I know it's early doors and they've got a lot of talent and they've got a focal point in Byrne at centre half, and it's probably going to gel.
Okay, well, we'll continue this one. We'll go down to Ross for the Man of the Match award.
Well, it seems like we've got it right this week. Popular win, according to the Box Hill supporters. It's Darren Brosnahan with Bill Stubbs and Wards Express.
Thanks so much, Ross. And Darren, on behalf of Wards Express, we congratulate you on a great game. And well done to Box Hill for a fine game also.
Yeah,
congratulations.
I'd just like to thank Wards for making this possible, and it was good that it was a team effort by Box Hill, and we've got our first win for the year.
Terrific. And you were playing all over the place in defence and in attack. Where exactly were you playing?
I started off on the back line, half-back flank, and moved to the forward line and changed on the ball. So I started to cramp towards the end. So
big ground, isn't it?
Yeah, big ground for me anyway.
How are you liking under Shane Malloy?
Yeah, Shane's brought some new techniques into into the club, and we'll have to sort of adjust to that accordingly, and hopefully we'll do well for the year.
And Werribee last week, good side, are they?
Yeah, I felt we matched with them for 3 quarters, and then the last quarter some of their experience showed out, but you know, as the year goes on we'll get better.
Good, okay, terrific. Darren Brosnahan, our Wards Express man of the match.
79-point winners were Box Hill, and I think under Shane Malloy, the players are going to have to be very versatile at Box Hill this year. And as I said during the call, I think there are a few plays and a few tactics that Malloy is going to employ that the players have got to get used to. And perhaps we shouldn't be too critical on Box Hill today. They might have been just experimenting a bit.
Perhaps I'm a little bit too critical, but there's no question that they had an edge in fitness, higher content of talent. Oakley, by comparison, you know, had that extra week's layoff. They haven't been together. They've had unfortunately, they've lost those key players in Gabuio and Cunningham, and then they had that injury count during the course of the game, Phil, so that's
but you
all
can
weighed
only
against
win,
them.
and they won by a sizable margin, and they stuck to their guns. Banfield had to work hard on Preto. There's no doubt it was a mismatch in the end, but you know, I can see some good signs there for Box Hill. They threatened over the last couple of years.
You know, there was a lot of talk that Box Hill were in big trouble financially and player-wise, and
I think they've come out of it pretty well. They've picked up Byrne at centre half forward, be pretty handy. We see the highlights here. And Lyle in the ruck. You know, if they can really get a bit out of Lyle, they've got a good runner in Zarafa, and a number of players there who could do a bit of damage. And you must remember last week against Werribee, they put in quite a good performance. There's Brosnan there, I think, snagging a goal on the right foot. Sam's got a point too, that probably they could have done more when things were tight, but Oakley,
a big win, isn't it?
It is a big win. And Oakley, you've got to take your hat off them. They really battle hard, and you think they didn't have a key centre half forward. Hickey had to play in the ruck against a much taller opponent.
And they were virtually restricted to 15 men for the second half.
Yeah,
you know, and on top of that in particular, they were without their captain coach, who means so much to them. Terry Smith was a critical loss to them.
Well, we've been talking about Shane Malloy, and as we see that fine mark pulled in by, I think it was Butterfint, and there he is feeding the ball off to our man of the match. Well, that was Hicks trickling that one through, but let's hear from the coach of the victorious Box Hill side, Shane Malloy, with Ross Booth.
Thanks, Peter. Yes, it's Shane Malloy's first senior win at this level anyway. You must feel very good.
It's terrific to win after last week when I thought we worked hard. It was disappointing to lose, but yeah, there's no doubt about winning. And of course I had my doubts about both myself and the team. You always have a few self-doubts, but certainly put to rest today, and I think now we can confidently look towards the rest of the season.
You're not a ranter and a raver. We had good shots of you at the breaks, and just quietly talking and spelling out instructions.
Well, I think I'm learning that there's no point ranting and raving. It's just a matter of sitting back and trying to be objective about it. And these guys, you know, to their credit, they listen very carefully and they're prepared to do what they're asked. So you don't really need to rant and rave.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Shane. Might have a quick word with Mark Lyle over here, if we can. Mark?
Sorry.
With you, a good win to the boys, and not too much height in the ruck for you today, was there?
No, I suppose they're a bit short in that department, but the bloke they had in there battled on well all day. He's a hard man to beat.
And how did you find the big ground? Plenty of space there?
It's wide, but it's not really long. So I struggled a bit in the second half. Had a bit of a sore foot, but no, the boys did well. They ran on well, pretty fit, and I think we'll be competitive all year this year.
Okay, well, there's a confident Mark Lyle with Box Hill, and they've registered their first win today. Congratulations to the Mustangs.
Let's see who registered wins in the AFL. And Footscray, great win over Hawthorn there by 11 points. They led most of the day. Other games, 3 played this afternoon. At Victoria Park, Collingwood had to come from behind to beat a stout Brisbane outfit who were hammered last week, so better performance from them today. Fitzroy and Richmond at Princes Park, and Richmond winning there. They held sway all day against the Roys, and Melbourne led for most of the day against North Melbourne. It looks like it's going to be a pretty grim year for the Northerners. Tomorrow's matches in the VFA, and there's some great ones on. Prahran against Dandenong. Dandenong big winners last week. Prahran looking for their first win. They're playing at home. Sandy and Port both winners last week. Preston and Coburg looking for their first win. Springdale and Frankston, who won last week, and Werribee and Williamstown both winners last week. Brunswick Broadmeadows have the bye. We'll see Frankston next week against Williamstown. Should be a beauty from Frankston. Hope you can join us there.
Good afternoon, Angela Pearman with ABC News. Australian authorities are seeking international help in the search for a bulk iron ore carrier missing off the West Australian coast. The Hong Kong registered mineral diamond has not been in radio contact since Wednesday. At that time, the ship was reported to be about 1,500 nautical miles west of Perth in gale force winds and a 6-metre sea. Talks between Allied and Iraqi generals on setting up camps for Kurdish refugees have collapsed. The US says it will now work through other channels. The Netherlands has announced it's sending 1,000 troops to the north of Iraq to set up a camp for the Kurds. The commemoration service of the Battle of Crete and the Greek campaign was held at Sydney Cenotaph in Martin Place this afternoon. At this year's 50th anniversary ceremony, the Prime Minister Bob Hawke, who laid a wreath. The Deputy Commander of the Greek Defence Forces was there to represent Greece. The details at 7 o'clock. Time now for Sports News.
Today, in the fourth test, Australia off to an impressive start. Soccer and Marconi do it the hard way as the NSL Grand Final draws near. And Rugby League in Darwin, the horror start to the season continues for Balmain. Hello, I'm Karen Tai. Thanks for joining us. Also today, our usual wrap-up of Basketball League and AFL. But first, boxing, and in Atlantic City, New Jersey, USA, Evander Holyfield has successfully defended his world heavyweight belt against 42-year-old George Foreman. Sentimental favourite Foreman lasted the full 12 rounds and lost on points. Holyfield now has a 26-bout winning streak. Now to racing, and we begin in Sydney at Rose Hill with race 3, the Express Shuttle Handicap. The track was fast with the favourite Shamrock Days at 10 to 9.
And Sedgman right down the outside, starting to come into it as well. It's Nitrogen hard up against the fence. Shamrock Days in the centre. Down the outside, Jim's Bet, and also Sedgman trying hard, passing the 200. It's Nitrogen on the inside, Shamrock Days the outside. Nitrogen and Shamrock Days are in the centre of the track. Jim's Bet and also Sedgman, but Nitrogen's going to be too strong in the run to the judge, and Nitrogen, he's down on the line.
Number 2 Nitrogen at 5 to 4 ahead of the favourite Shamrock Days, with Jim's Bet coming in third. Now to Eagle Farm in race 3, the F&M Handicap.
Crystal, Show Wonder starting to wind up. Gilded Queen giving them quite a start. Millie's Luck shot away at the 200. He's got a handy break on them. Sparkling Crystal in second place, then Show Wonder and Gilded Queen on the outside. But it's Millie's Luck in front of Sparkling Crystal, and Millie's Luck is going to be too good. Millie's Luck first, Sparkling Crystal second.
Number 4 Millie's Luck ahead of Sparkling Crystal and Show Wonder. Finally to Sandown in race 6, the Gippsland Sprint Final.
It's a test at the 250-metre mark now. Ali Shan in front, Physical Lad 3/4 behind. Ali Shan under the whippers holding him. 2 lengths to Pike, then Dancing Gambler and Stamp of Approval. Ali Shan still in front, Stamp of Approval, Dancing Gambler trying to reach Ali Shan, who's still in front, and Ali Shan wins it. Ali Shan by a length.
The favourite Ali Shan home first at 3 to 1. Dancing Gambler second at 7 to 2, with Stamp of Approval third at 8 to 1. It was Australia's day in the 4th cricket test in Barbados, with Craig McDermott in full cry. The West Indies were bundled out for 149 on the opening day. At stumps, Australia was 2 for 56.
After the constant frustration of rain, the sparkling Bridgetown weather was sheer joy for the Australians and their many supporters. Alan Border won the toss, and his 3 pace bowlers responded.
Reid is under it, and he takes it.
McDermott then snared Richardson. West Indies 2 for 21.
Straight to David Boone, and he's taken it. Very good catch there by David Boone, jumping away to his right.
The West Indies top order batted like millionaires.
Hooper hits a catch straight to Dean Jones at point.
The Australians were rolling, but this appeal against Haynes disallowed and emotions boiled over.
And Desmond Haynes is just about to have a word with Ian Healy.
A reassuring word from Richards restored the peace. The Master Blaster hit 6 fours in his top score of 32.
It's a beautiful stroke.
McDermott then added the Richards scalp, and Australia never looked back.
In the air, catch to Hughes, he's got him.
After 3.5 hours, Haynes went for 28.
And straight to Mark Waugh at second slip.
The Australian catching was superb. Mark Waugh finished with 3 scorchers.
What a performance.
Chasing 149, Australia lost Marsh with the total at 24.
He has the catch.
Boone then followed 3 runs later.
In the air, he's gone. Australia are 2 for 27.
But Border and Taylor steadied with positive batting to reinforce Australia's strong position at stumps.
Yes, our bowlers certainly dominating the opening day. McDermott and Hughes 4 apiece. In England, the Liverpool Football Club are to be allowed back into European competition next year. Banned since the 1985 European Cup final, today's announcement comes 2 years earlier than expected. And on the local front, it's semi-final time in the National Soccer League this weekend. But for Marconi and Adelaide City, there will be no second chance in tomorrow's knockout semi. After a promising start to the season, Marconi have struggled towards the end. Last year's grand finalists have a tough road ahead to get there again.
Open out, take, and nice and easy turn.
When Bertie Mariani joined Marconi as coach in 1988, it seemed he had the Midas touch. From 4th place going into the semis, he took Marconi to their first grand final win. In 1989, to their second. Last year they again reached the grand final, only to lose to Sydney Olympic. It hasn't been so easy this season. Marconi have won just 2 of their last 9 games. In last weekend's elimination final, just scraping home against Melita in a penalty shootout.
And low scores, and Marconi are through.
We had a few specific problems, very unique problems within the camp, and obviously I like to keep them to myself. But at the same time, there were some definite problems there, and we had to readjust some things. And to their credit, as I said, to their credit, they did, and I think they've done very well to date.
Against Adelaide tomorrow, Marconi have the finals experience, but have yet to beat them this season. Their last loss, 3-1 at home. Tomorrow, a knockout game and playing away. A tough prospect, but they've been there before.
Coming from 4th is difficult, but at the same time it's highly motivated. You don't have a second chance, so you've got to give everything every week. So, you know, I think for us, I think it's good, and I think we can do it from here.
Do you think you can stand going through another penalty shootout again?
Oh, I think we'll do whatever it takes to win. Hopefully it won't go to extra time and penalties this time. We can sort it out in normal time.
And you can see that game along with the major semi-final between Melbourne, Croatia and South Melbourne on the big match at 10 p.m. Monday night. And on Sunday, live from Wembley at 11:45 Eastern Standard Time, the English League Cup final between Manchester United and Sheffield Wednesday. In the National Basketball League, the Southern Melbourne Saints caused another upset last night, downing defending champions Perth by 2 points. And in the women's national basketball season, which began last night, 2 games. In Hobart, the Islanders defeated defending champions North Adelaide by 6 points in a replay of last year's grand final. They may just have come off a win in last month's club championships, but luck didn't travel with the Rockets to Hobart last night. The Islanders' defence kept North Adelaide to a scoring percentage of just 29. Here, Hobart's experienced backcourt duo of Robin Marr and Debbie Black combining for the points. At half-time, the looks from the dressing room said it all. Although trailing by just 2, North Adelaide couldn't make an impact in the final term, and despite guard Vicky Daldy top scoring for the game with 25, last year's title holders were forced to bow to last year's runners-up. Final score, Hobart 54, North Adelaide 48. And in the other game last night, West Adelaide 62 down Canberra 59. And looking to tonight, Sydney take on the AIS, Melbourne face North Adelaide, Perth host Canberra and Melbourne East take on Adelaide. And tomorrow it's Brisbane, the AIS again, and Bulleen taking on Adelaide. Still on basketball, and Sydney's new-look team in the Women's National League, the Sydney Flames, have taken on their first American recruit, 25-year-old Jean McNulty. From the Sydney Bruins to the Sydney Flames. A new owner, a new playing venue, and for coach Bernie Slattery, 6 new faces in this year's lineup, including Sydney's first American recruit, Jean McNulty.
I think it gives us something that we haven't quite had before, which is a legitimate turnaround jump shooter in the post. It's pretty rare in women's basketball, so we're pretty happy with that.
things that I want to have everybody focusing on today.
The Flames were able to recruit Jean with the financial backing of the Sydney Kings management, and with a game average of 20 points and 7 rebounds, the Montana University forward had the credentials. So much so that just hours after touching down in Sydney, she was on a court in Adelaide, helping Sydney to 4th place in the National Club Championships, their best result ever.
I didn't know anybody, not even a first name, and it was, so it's tough for me to judge right now, but I think that everybody plays real well together, and I've only had 2 practices with them too, so these 2 weeks before our next game is going to be real helpful for me, but the team looks really good.
McNulty will wear number 25 this season, probably a good omen for the Flames.
When I was just a little kid watching all my brothers, I have 5 older brothers, and they all played, and they were always 24 and 25, so I thought I better carry on the tradition, and I got down here, and my uniform was number 25, so Bernie must have saw it from the tape I sent him.
With the growing popularity of men's basketball, it's hoped the Women's National League follows a similar path. The Flames' home games this season will be curtain raisers to the Kings at Sydney's Entertainment Centre, their first tonight against the Australian Institute of Sport. To rugby league and 6 games without a win. That's the horror story for Balmain and their new coach Alan Jones. In the first ever premiership match in Darwin, the Tigers succumbed to Penrith by 14-0.
Stifling heat could not excuse some careless finishing by Balmain in front of a record 13,000 Darwin crowd.
Back in field was Freeman, the pass went astray.
But mistakes in attack put too much pressure on the Tigers' defence, and the Panthers were simply more hungry for tries.
Smith getting it back, and finally...
It was a gut-wrenching time for beleaguered Alan Jones, as Panther Brad Izzard outsmarted the flagging defence for the match-winning try.
Brad Izzard stepping through. Smith, the leading try scorer in the Winfield Cup, is going to add another one to his tally for 91.
Balmain never surrendered, but when luck is down, even the photo finish goes the wrong way.
This man on the wing. O'Brien gets away. Now Freeman, back to O'Brien. Does he get there? No.
Penrith by 14-0.
ABC's Saturday Super League today travelled to Bruce Stadium in Canberra, where the Premiers were taking on fast-improving Manly Sea Eagles. Here's Warren Boland.
Thanks, Karen. Canberra came out all fired up to rattle Manly, but the Sea Eagles completely outplayed them. By half-time, it was 32-0. At full-time, it was 46-12. Manly scored 7 tries in all, 26 points to Matthew Ridge, and the third try was a typical effort.
Manly's got the speed down the flanks to cover kicks like that.
They swing it wide here. Quickly it goes out to Iro, standing in the centres. Inside is Hassler. Hassler coming through to Belcher. Gets it out to O'Connor. He hangs on to it. Pushes away. David Watson for the line. Chased by Wood. He got there. One problem for Manly was the sending off of Martin Bella in the second half. A high tackle on Brent Todd. You can see there, clearly high and immediately sent off. And so Canberra have their problems. Manly don't.
Thanks, Warren. Well, after posting their first win of the season, defeating Richmond last weekend, it looked like the Swans might pull off another win last night at the SCG after a spirited third quarter against Essendon, but they weren't prepared for the Bombers' response. The Sydney Swans have a good record against Essendon under lights, and after trailing by 10 at the half break, a 9-goal third-quarter burst looked ominous.
Great-looking kick, Paul Kelly!
The Swans had a setback, though, losing Gareth John with a suspected broken larynx. But going into the final term, led by 21, having posted their highest ever score for one quarter against the Bombers.
Left boot, and he's kicked a beauty!
It was then that Essendon came out of hibernation, letting loose with an electrifying 11-goal streak. Bradley Plain, the best of the Bombers, finished the game with 8 goals, while Sydney could only manage 2 in the final term. Final score, Essendon 24-17, 161, Sydney 19-16, 130. And today it was North Melbourne and Melbourne in ideal conditions at the MCG.
Oh, tackled hard was German. Gets the hand pass away.
18 goals were scored in the first quarter, with teams continuing to swap goal for goal in the second. But it was Melbourne which finally went ahead to finish the match on top, 28-14, 182 to 17-10, 112. And quickly, another scores Footscray, an upset over Hawthorn, Collingwood home over Brisbane, and the same for Richmond and Fitzroy in a bottom-of-the-table clash. That's it for now. See you same time next week. Bye.